Hi, this is Michelle with Angelic Encounters, and I want to know, do you guys believe in guardian angels? Answer down in the comments and let me know what your belief about guardian angels is. Today's story is from a woman named Annette McDermott and her little girl Sarah. At the time that this story took place, Sarah was an infant and she was getting her first shots, her immunizations. And Annette was a little concerned about it. She knew it was important to have her daughter get her immunizations. But you see, there had been an issue with Annette's son a few years back where he had kind of a bad reaction after he received the same DTP immunization. He cried inconsolably for several hours, and so it was a very, very concerning situation because Annette knew that sometimes reactions to immunizations can be hereditary, whether it's allergies or just unusual reactions. There can be a hereditary component to it. So she was a little nervous when she took her baby there to get her shots. When the needle went into Sarah's little arm, she just screamed so loud, and Sarah cringed. She hated seeing her daughter go through this, and she was so nervous about, how was it going to all turn out. When the nurse was putting the Band-Aid on the baby, she went through some of the signs to look for if there's any problems, and told Annette to keep a good eye on her daughter and to call them if there was any issues. And Annette said, of course, that she would. And so Annette took little Sarah out to the car and strapped her in her car seat. Because Sarah was an infant, the car seat was facing the back, which is required in order to keep the baby safe in a car wreck. They need to be facing towards the back seat. When she put her in, little Sarah had a contented look, like she was tired, but she was peaceful. And she was doing the cute little sucking motions with her mouth that little babies do. And that thought that maybe this is going to be okay and we're going to get through this and everything's going to be fine. So she goes to drive home, and she keeps looking in her rearview mirror to see how Sarah's doing. And of course, because of the back-facing position of the car seat, she can't see all of Sarah, but she began to see her moving like she was uncomfortable and kind of fidgeting. And then all of a sudden, Sarah just let out this blood-curdling scream. And Annette thought, oh no, it's happening. But then as she continued the drive home, she's thinking, well, maybe she's wet. It's been a long day. Maybe she's just hungry. She started trying to kind of calm herself down and talk herself out of thinking it was a reaction to the immunization. So they get home, she takes her baby out, and poor Sarah just is crying, and just her whole little body is just sobbing, and it was heart-wrenching to see. So Annette takes her baby in, and she's holding her and rocking her and calling her Sarah Bear, which was her nickname for Sarah. And she tried to give her a bottle, and nothing was working, nothing at all. And Annette was crying because she felt useless, like she couldn't do anything to help her baby girl. She just put her baby girl in the middle of the bed. She laid next to her and began stroking her hair and calling her Sarah Bear and saying, we've had a really rough day. We're going to get through it, Sarah Bear. And finally, they both, out of sheer exhaustion, just fell asleep. Annette doesn't know how long afterwards, but sometime that same evening, her eyes just opened wide, and she thought, oh no, I forgot to pre-make the bottles for Sarah for tomorrow. So this was a routine that she had because she liked to have the bottles all made up for the next day. It just made everything go smoother, and there was always a bottle available for little Sarah when she needed it. So she decided, I don't feel like it, but I gotta go take care of these bottles. So she kissed her little baby girl on the forehead, and little Sarah was just resting like a cute little cherub with little pucker lips like the babies do sometimes when they're sleeping. And she felt good with how Sarah was doing. Looked like the worst was behind them. So she goes down to make the bottles. She starts making the bottles and putting the liners in and getting everything squared away for the next day. And then she hears a soft voice say, Sarah. Annette looks around and thought, well, maybe my husband came home early. She called his name a couple times. He didn't answer. So she thought, I must just be really, really tired. Then she's working on the bottle still, opening the cans of formula, going about doing her usual routine. She hears a firm, seemingly audible command, check Sarah. She immediately stopped what she was doing and bolted to her bedroom. She gasped and rushed to little Sarah's side. Sarah's face and lips were pale blue. Her bright blue eyes were wide open, staring into space. The peaceful look she had had minutes before had turned fearful, with her tiny fists clenched and flailed in the air. Her mouth was open, but she was not breathing. With her hands shaking, Annette immediately turned her baby girl over, and vomit just poured out of her little mouth. Breathe, Sarah, she said. Please, please. And what seemed like minutes, but was probably only a few seconds, Sarah whimpered. She coughed and let out a loud-pitched wail. This time, Annette didn't cringe when she heard it. It was the most beautiful thing she had ever heard, was that baby being able to wail again. Annette sobbed with relief, and she held her baby tight as she calmed down and felt her rhythmic breathing. Annette looked to the ceiling and she whispered, thank you, thank you. Annette tries not to think about what might have happened that day if she had not received those mysterious orders to check on Sarah. She says she doesn't know for sure if she audibly heard it or if it was somehow planted into her mind, but she does know, and she believes with all her heart that that command came from a guardian angel. I hope that this was uplifting and comforting to you. If it is, please share, subscribe, and like. I know we all know somebody who could use a little hope and encouragement. Many blessings to you. See you next time.